All 100 or so inhabitants of the small oasis gathered to watch a sight never before seen, and unlikely to be seen again. 64 mules pulled what Diodorus, a Sicilian Greek historian of the 1st century, would subsequently describe as an Ionic tomb made entirely of gold, 20 feet long and 14 wide. Inside, the king's mummified body, preserved in honey, rested in a golden sarcophagus. The weight of the hearse had required specially designed wheels and suspension. Even so, 6 miles a day was the greatest speed it could attain. The honor guard of 100 Macedonian cavalry made no secret of the fact that the king was being taken home to Macedonia. He had died the year before in Babylon. The sheer size of his empire, stretching from Greece to India, had required over 12 months to divide among his generals before they could turn to the disposition of their former ruler's remains. Chief among them, Perdiccas, had decreed the body was to be entombed next to the king's father, Philip. The order was not entirely popular, for Macedonian tradition held the first duty of the new king was to bury his predecessor. But the king's only son was a half-wit, and Perdiccas was an ambitious man. But no more so than Ptolemy, known as Soter, the Savior, because he had been chief among the king's generals who had saved Egypt from the tyrannical rule of the Persians. Ptolemy had his eyes on Egypt, now part of the empire. More importantly, he had his army of several thousand blocking the funeral cortege's path northwest to Macedonia. The villagers watched in eager anticipation of bloody entertainment as Sertike, commander of the honor guard, wheeled his horse to climb the slight rise where a single figure sat on horseback in front of a line of a dozen or so war elephants. Behind them, men armed with spears had already formed phalanxes, the Greek battle formation of close ranks and files. Reaching the crest, Sertike removed his helmet so the other man might more clearly see his face. He dismounted and knelt before the other's horse. "Sir, you do me honor to join my small force in escorting the king home." A smile creased the weathered face of the man on horseback. Despite Sertike's flowery words, he knew the cavalry commander was fully aware of what was happening. "Honor is due you, Sertike, but I come to join you not in taking the king back to Macedonia, but to Egypt, as he wished. But my orders, your orders, are countermanded. Do not force me to slay my fellow comrades in arms." It didn't take Sertike more than a second to make up his mind. A little over a year ago, he would not have given the superior strength of an adversary a second thought. Had not the king's 30,000 Macedonians routed 10 times as many Persians? Had the king not consistently defeated armies far larger than his own? But the king was dead. There was no clear chain of command, and it had been over 10 years since he had seen his wife back in Macedonia. 10 years of forced marches, combat, and privation, until the army had finally mutinied, refusing to go farther than the Hindu Kush. They all wanted to go home. What purpose would be served by losing 100 brave men now? He stood, head bowed. "My life will be forfeit when Perdiccas hears of this." Ptolemy barked a harsh laugh. "Then come with me to Egypt. It is a rich country, and I have need of men like you." He noted the man's hesitation. "Have no fear for your family. I will send swift riders to bring them from Macedonia to Egypt." With no small disappointment there would be no fight. The villagers watched the two groups merge, shift the marching route from northwest to southwest, and slowly disappear over the ridge. From the Diary of Louis-Étienne Saint-Denis, Secretary to Napoleon Bonaparte, Commanding General, Army of the Nile. Edited and translated to the English by Henri de Tasse of the University of Paris. Alexandria, 1901, August 23, 1799. We left at night so the troops would not be disheartened. Fortune had frowned on us. After Nelson the Englishman destroyed our fleet at Aboukir Bay a year ago, he sailed away to Sicily, leaving Captain Sidney Smith in command of the British fleet. If anything, Smith was worse than Nelson. He defeated us at Acre and challenged the general to a duel, a madman. Control of the sea by the enemy has stalled our campaign here, so there is little choice but to leave General Kléber to make terms with the English and the Turks who have joined them.